This episode was sponsored by Santos Threads. Make sure to visit Santos-Threads for the latest and greatest in men's and women's Latino hip-hop inspired streetwear apparel. Visit SANTOS-THREADS.com. Hey, you are now listening to the Santos Says podcast. Welcome. One more time coming at you. Episode number 20 with your host, Santos, proud owner of Santos Threads. Of course, as you all know, joining you once more on the Santos Says podcast. We hear episode number 20. Time goes by fast when you're having fun, folks. That's just the way it goes. So I'm happy here to be here with you on episode number 20. On this episode, I will have a special guest. Joining me today will be a very, this is a long time coming because this individual, and I'll explain the story as well a little bit as well when he's here. But the individual who will be joining me today on this episode is someone who has been putting it down for a while. He has his podcast. He's somebody who's definitely more who's been around. He's been around, and he's someone who is a podcaster himself, a social media influencer, positive energy, a positive guy, a person who is really is all about putting positive messages out there, talks about relationships, talks about all kind of different topics. I mean, he's really good. I kind of look at him like almost like the therapist who's off the cuff, very good listener. His name is Rivera. And he's actually a person I've known for a little while now, off the behind the scenes, but someone who I've been wanting to connect with, and our schedules just never aligned, but I'm glad that we actually were able to get together to do this. He has a podcast called the Live It, Love It, Fuck It podcast, which I love the name. It's a great name, and he's really on brand with that. So he's someone who I've been wanting to have on the show for quite some time. I'm glad that we were able to make our schedules work, and quite frankly, I'm glad to have him on the show today. We're gonna talk about a couple different things. We talked offline a little bit, and I felt like we had a lot of commonalities, and one of the things we want to talk about, obviously, is we'll talk about relationship stuff because he does a lot of great relationship stuff from a guy's point of view. And certainly, I want to be able to I want to hear him chime in on that. So we'll talk about some of that. We'll talk about him as far as what he's up to, his podcast. He's very active in the podcast game. He's someone who is always putting out content, somebody who's always looking to do different things, push the edge, push the boundaries, and really be himself. He's got a different style. I've told him that he's a real good listener, and I really like that style. It's almost like the off-the-cuff, kind of like the off-the-cuff, after-hours therapist, if you will. So we're going to have him join us, and definitely just interested in hearing what he has to say. We'll talk about his content, how he came up with the idea of his podcast. Couple other things too. We'll pick his brain. We'll talk a little bit about his music. He's a big time freestyle fan, which he likes freestyle music, and that we'll talk about relationships. We'll talk about all kinds of things. We'll get into it. Definitely, it's gonna be great. So, looking to have him on, and he should be joining me momentarily. Just looking to, just looking to get him out here and to join me, and he should be here any minute or so. And once he's here, we'll definitely hook up. We'll link up. It's definitely it's been a long time coming, man, because it one of the things that I love about this whole thing is that I never, anyone who knows me knows that I had never envisioned that I would be with a podcast. This was not in my plans per se, but it was not on my plans per se, right? I mean, I was one of those guys who was content with having his clothing, online clothing store, just selling my clothing, um, my merch, just marketing that, and away we go. That was my thing. But like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, it made sense that I would actually do this podcasting, because it was something I kind of thought about in the back of my mind. I just didn't know how to start. Nothing. I mean, I had no idea. When you do these things, you don't know anything. You don't know how to start. But one of the greatest pieces of advice that I got, which was from him, was from LJ Rivera. One of the best pieces of advice I got. I remember, I don't know if he's going to remember this. He may not, he may or may not. When I was telling him, I remember telling him, I want to start a podcast. I remember telling him this. And one of the things he told me was like, press record. Like, that was it. Like, I remember him telling me something to that effect. And he's here. And he's going to join the show right now. I'd like to introduce to the show LJ Rivera.
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, long time coming, right? Long time coming. We couldn't get those schedules to align, but
No, I appreciate you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know how it is, bro. Your families and all that, kids, and then this work.
And that's the same. I call it an after dark show because that's the only time if you're available is after nighttime.
After dark, yeah. Like that's a fact, man. It's crazy, but we're here now. I'm glad to have you on. First of all, I was just telling briefly a story about how kind of like how we cross paths a little bit, because you've been in the game for a while. So like I remember watching you as I saw you. Remember, I saw you on another platform. I don't remember which one it is now. It escapes me. I was on YouTube. I saw you on there. I was a fan, literally just watching. I was just a spectator. And you didn't know me, right? I didn't know you. Little did we know that this is what you did. And you talked about it. And then, I went and I found you on Instagram, and that's how it happened. But like at that time, I was just selling my clothing. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I think I want to do this podcasting. And so you were, you may not know this, but you were somebody who kind of, you influenced me in that you made it, I don't know how to explain it. Like you kind of made it feel like, all right, you know what? Now, I don't want to say it. I'm not saying like if he could do it, I could do it. I don't want to say it because I feel like that's kind of an insult. I don't mean that way. I look at it more like,
just fucking do it.
Just fucking do right. Just fucking do it, kid. Like, and I don't know what it was. Something about your presence just kind of like slapped me in the face and just said, yo, just do it.
I mean, it took me a while to start, but at the same time, I remember it was one of my friends. Ironically, she started her own show, and I want to be supportive because you know what? The more practice you get, the more screen time you get, the more you get better. So That's how I did. You just jump in and just do it. And I think that's the whole concept of the live it, love it, fuck it theory. It's just the fuck it phase. Just do it already. Do it,
Well, there you go. You walked right into my trap. You just set me up nicely. So where did you? So where did this come from? This concept, was this something that you just were like, it was steaming inside of you, and you're like, I gotta do this, but you didn't know how? Or explain the concept of your podcast.
So the theory behind all of it, I mean, it goes through life. It goes through your life experience. And it started pretty much in 2013. A friend of mine's, we were working and we started a job that we had no skill set about. And, it's a job that you really had to hustle, and you really had to pretty much get your feet wet in the social service field. So working with people older than you, people that don't give two shits about you pretty much. And, and you got to go in there and say, guess what? You got to somehow convince these people to trust you. So there were times that when you're young, you don't want to make mistakes, especially as an elderly, like probably young father I was at the time. I had a brand newborn. So I wanted to do the best decision making as possible. Because, when you're young, you don't give a shit what you do. You just live life for the fullest. So that's why I say live it. It's part of just the growing part. Live it, The loving side of it is loving. You love yourself, love somebody. And you all know how that works when you love somebody else. All the rules just fall sometimes out of place.
Yeah.
But the fucking part of it. Right. No. But the fucking part of it is When people tell you that you can't do something, or people think that you got to follow the trade, follow the train, right, follow the tracks, you can't think outside the box. That's what the fuck is side of it. Because instead of me busting my butt 9 to 5 doing a job that they told me this is what you got to do to make money, I pretty much took it to the next level by saying, if I keep on doing this, I'm only going to continue what you're telling me to do. So if I start looking outside the box and put them together, you never know. And then ever since that mode, it just helped me out with work, with life, just being outside like an extrovert as a person.
So you kind of get like you were able to kind of, because people don't, a lot of people don't realize this, like when we're really young, right? You know how we're like when we're 18, 19 years old, we think we know everything. And what we don't realize is what's going to come, what's going to happen, and how we're going to go through all these evolutions. 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35. You're still evolving. Like people
I
think,
think,
oh,
yeah,
right?
it's a street world. You know what? When you're young, so I'm 36 years old.
I'm
So
35.
there
We're
you
the
go. So
same. We're the same age.
growing up, the people that were your influence, the people that gave you advice, were people in the hood,
Right,
the
right.
OGs,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
the stories you've heard growing up are the ones they told you, or the ones you only see with your eyes.
Right.
But
What you see around the
nowadays,
way.
yeah, exactly. But nowadays, the way things are now, you don't need that. You can just go on YouTube pretty much, and you could learn anything you want about whatever you want in life because it's there. So back then, whatever you were raised in, you felt like you knew better. Like, oh, I'm gonna give you some life advice, kid, about how to talk with women or how to make money at the age 15. Don't be stupid. And of course, you think in your head, oh shoot, I'm gonna take that advice, and when I get older, I got this. But then when you become a parent and you start working in a different field, different world, you're like, yo, half that shit doesn't even apply to me anymore.
Doesn't
Now
change. It
what?
changes.
Yeah,
You take the playbook. Basically, it's a playbook that you get, right? And it's like, well, it's like you're starting a game. You get a playbook. Just take that shit and throw it, rip it. It's done. Doesn't
every
apply.
playbook has to modify. No one
Right.
could have the same playbook. And this is something I tell a lot of people when I speak to them. You're not the same person you are every 2 or 3 years or every 5 years. If you're still the same person after 5 to 10 years, then my question is, have you evolved? Have you become the best version of yourself? And that's the thing about what I do in my podcast. I give people the open mic to say, you know what, let's talk about it. Let's talk about anything that you feel that was something important for you in your life, and let's take it to the next level.
It's interesting you say that because I think a lot of your style also, and I kind of we I hinted this at you as well. A lot of your style reminds me of a therapist that's off the clock, if you will, right? It reminds me after hours therapist. So how much of a role has your professional career? Because I was thinking, and I did know that you were in that because of how I met you. Because on that platform that you were on, you talked about it briefly, but then it reflects so much in your work that you work in social services or some sort of social work. So how did that influence you?
So pretty much, like I said, when you streets life, book life, but you know what? I give credit to my therapist because I was therapy. I went to like 3 different therapists growing up, and I was always one thing a therapist always told me is that a therapist needs a therapist. Everyone needs
Yes,
help. No
yes,
such thing as that person needs help. So when I grew up, I'm thinking in my head, yo, my mother, my father, my cousins, people that I look up to, they need a mentor. Everyone needs a freaking mentor. The catch is, as we get older, do you evolve your mentorship or do you stick with the same person? Because at the end of the day, you gotta be open minded to say, you know what? Yeah, this person guided me through my teen years, but now I'm a grown ass person. I'm a father, and maybe that style doesn't fit with me. Maybe I need to look at another playbook or multiply the playbook. So all that played into a role of my life. Because what the thing is this, and it's interesting because I have never been able to speak about it in my podcast as much. But helping people feels good, but listening is better because people think that just meeting someone for a few minutes, you could solve their issues like that.
no,
When deep down inside, little by little, if you just listen carefully, they want more than just, yo, can you guide me to get a job? Can you guide me to get into GED program? Or can you help me, solve myself rehab or something? Because that's the type of work I did. I went into a field that I felt comfortable with because one, it paid the bills, but two, I could relate to it. Growing up, I seen people with addiction, low income, poverty, and I realized no one gave them a support because there was always judgment. by the way they look, the way they talk, or what kind of lifestyle they live. That people say, this person ain't gonna go far. I'm not gonna waste my time.
And you're right. And a lot of that happens, and we live in a society where there's always going to be preconceived notions um, about where you've come from or what your background, your ethnic background, socio-economic status, all that stuff. Where did you grow up? Tell me a little bit about your story now. You don't have to get too deep, right? I just want to just to have like the basis, like just to kind of understand you a little
So
bit.
this is the way I look at it. This is the way I tell a lot of people. Firstborn generation born here. Both my father and my mother come from South America, and pretty much when they came here, typical, you work your ass off. But it's hard because you can't evolve as the same way as someone born here. The English language and all that.
Right.
But what I realize is growing up, you don't really see that because they do their best to prevent you from seeing that stuff. Just go to school and learn. But then when you get older and older, you realize, oh, I can't afford those stuff. I can't afford those brand new tins. I can't
Right.
afford those Jordans 11 that first came out. And then
Mm-hmm.
you realize, you know what? I want to make money because the mindset when you're young is go to school. When you turn 18, make money or go
Yeah.
to college.
100%.
So I kept on seeing my family the way they are. Great, humble people who were never given the opportunity to take the next leap because they
Right.
played it safe. They played it safe in life.
It
My
was
grandfather,
survival
who was
mode.
my
Survival mode.
exactly. So my grandfather was my mentor. My grandfather today is 91 years old. Man.
God bless
He
him.
always thank you so much, and he's like I actually have his name. I'm the third. So my lifestyle has always been that my family has always been very conservative in doing the right thing in life, but never been able to take that leap chance to play what if. So I felt like, you know what? My family didn't come to this country just to sit back and just play the what if, just play safe. No, I'm gonna go out there and make mistakes. I'm gonna do whatever it is.
Well,
Because
it's
at the
your
end of the
turn.
day,
It's your
yeah,
turn
because at
now.
the end of the day, as long as I can stand up, as long as I'm still breathing, why not? If I fail today, oh man, I think I failed a good like 200 times, man. But that's my
We all
lifestyle
do.
now. That's the way I look at it. Very conservative. Once I hit those teens and 20s, I realized, hell no, man. I didn't come here just to be ordinary. I'm here to take a shot at something. So that's what I do now. I keep on doing before, and that's what I help other people on my podcast. Everyone I speak to, I try to motivate them in any way possible to do them. My last podcast I just did last 2 weeks ago, I'm helping her to open up her own YouTube page. Because why? Because she wants to do it. So I'm like, guess what? I got you. If no one's gonna push you, I'm gonna push you.
Wow.
Because that's the thing. You got to push people because I don't want to be like, yo, Santos, I know you, and you tell me you want to do something, but you're not able to do it. So I'm say, fuck it, do it. And if I can help you in any way possible, fuck it, I'll help you too.
It's
And
crazy. And you have a no, you're right. And you have this weird and I mean it in a good way because I observe people very well. I observe like we haven't gotten a chance to really talk like that, but we've talked a little bit here and there, over the months and stuff. I observe people very well. I saw your content. I see your TikToks, even though I don't like TikTok. I'll be honest with you. We've talked about this. Whatever. That's another story for another day, maybe. Whatever. I don't like it, but I like what you do with it, which is fine. I think it works for you. Everybody's got a different personality. It's not really my style, but I can appreciate the value. But what you do, you have it's positivity. It's not cheesy. It's not cheesy positivity. Like, oh yeah, well, everybody's gonna skip. We're gonna skip across the yellow brick road, and we're all gonna just, rainbow skittles are gonna come out of the sky. Like, no, it's very real. It's very real. It's very what do you call it? I don't know, like I like the style, and I could see how you could motivate people because you kind of did that for me without you realizing it. You did
I mean,
like I was a logo, bro. I was a logo, a logo, a
I mean,
logo.
look at you now. Look at you. Look at you now. You have everything. I mean, this is the way I tell people. I'm not your ordinary motivator. I keep it straight up with people. I'm
No,
not
I
your
get it.
ordinary motivator, and I always tell people we all have something to learn. We all can learn from somebody else. And as long as we hear carefully and listen carefully, man, we could do so much wonders because you have a story, I have a story. Whoever listens to this, they all have a story. They could all be sitting with us right here too, doing the exact same thing. And I think that's what it is. Why not? The whole shit is why not push? And like my TikToks. I just want to. I did TikTok, to be honest with you, besides the pandemic and all that,
Yeah, yeah,
because
of course.
it was also a way to reach out to people. Because here's the thing about something that I kind of take personal. There was a time that I was very cocky about helping people. I got you. Work with me. I got you. If
Right,
you trust
right.
me, if you put your heart into it, we could do it together. You have a higher probability of just working with me together to take the next step. Then things hit me bad, and then you know what? I decided to crawl up and say, you know what? I need to rebuild myself all over again. But little did I know, some of the people that look up to me that I didn't know or talk to me in the most like frequent way for guidance, I isolated myself. And there was a time that I was helping a good friend of mine from like age 6. I know her for almost like 25 years, and she went through some overdose.
Oh my
And
God.
it was like she came to me. She's like, "Yo, I want to get better myself. I'm a parent. I'm doing my thing." And I'm like, "I got you. You know, we're kids. We're all grown ups. Don't be ashamed of shit. Let's do this. We're still friends." And then little by little, things got positive. Got a job, go back to school, and things got better and better. And then when things hit me hard, me thinking, "Yo, I got to rebuild myself, my self care," I pretty much ignored my phone. Next thing you know, what I'm like, "Yeah, I'm back. I'm back." It was too late when I got that phone call. I got that phone call
Oh
saying,
man.
"Yo, this person passed away, and come to the funeral." And I'm like, "Let me just check my last WhatsApp message." And I'm like, "Yo, going scrolling back, I'm like, damn, that shit hurt me." So the way I look at things in life is, although I was cocky and I can help anyone at the moment, you helping a few people, that feels great. But if at the moment TikTok is considered the largest social media platform,
Yeah,
why
hundred
not
percent.
show positivity? Why not show some of what you have there? Cause maybe somewhere in a different state could look at it and be like, you know what? You know, that's cool. I believe in that. And I like this mentality. And that's the way it is, because there's a lot of hate in this fucking world. A
Yeah,
lot of hate.
too much.
Think about the pandemic to now, the shit we went through. I don't even want to talk
Hmm.
about all the shit we went through, but imagine all the shit we went
Yeah,
through. And if you could find a safe place where you could speak to somebody with no judgment, laugh, get nostalgia of some '90s R&B, and just have fun, then that's what I
There's-
wanted to create.
you got me. You got me there. Like that's how I know you're paying attention. You got me. He said '90s R&B, good one.
I
You
mean,
got me.
bro, I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing. And so I do these things, and I feel like it helped because there are people that reach out to me. Yo, I'm from Canada. I'm from Europe. I'm like from LA. What's up? I like your stuff. And they vent. And I'm like, you know what? In return, I'll listen to you. But in return, show some love and send it to somebody else that needs it. And
right,
that's what I keep on doing, and that's why it's important to connect. We know I connected with Mama's network as well too. I
right, right.
interviewed, Jasmine, and I'm like, yo, we got to connect. And I think it's important for us to connect to as many people as possible because who knows who could be listening to this. So that's my
That's
whole
right.
forte, man, of doing this. Just if this could just reach out to one other person, man, I'm happy.
You're right, and I that's what I saw with you as well. Like I saw that um with you that just that connection. I'm like, all right, he's connecting with people. We got to do the same. And that's how I looked at it when I, right away after I saw you and I saw what you were about and I saw your content. I'm like, all right, we got to connect because this feels right. It feels like the right thing to do to kind of connect and build and support each other's platforms. It just, I see, um, I see, myself in you in a form, and I'm sure it's vice versa because we're Latinos. You know what I mean? So I feel like we have to, right? So we got to
Support
support
each
each other.
other straight up.
We got to
Look,
support each other.
and anyone listening to it, I'm gonna be honest with you. The way I started this whole podcast, I knew a friend of mine's, a female best friend of mine, her husband, he makes beats. And I'm like, yo, one of these days, can I borrow one of your beats? Because I want to just blow it up with some podcasting show. He's like, here, do it. I really don't work as much because I'm working, but here, have my beats. I'm like, great. I told one of my homegirls, mad love for her. Yo, I take art class. I know how to draw stuff on the computer, but not perfectly. You know what? Make it whatever. And next thing you know it, she gave me an art screen. Boom. That's my podcast icon. Boom. YouTube it, how to start a podcast, and that's it.
That's amazing.
From the first episode to now, obviously the quality gets better, but it's just about just shut up and fucking do it. And just do it.
Right, right,
And I
yeah.
did it.
Yeah, man. Like that's one of the biggest takeaways I had, from watching you. I was like, all right, this guy, he gets it. You know what I mean? I'm like, this guy, he's he's on some shit, man. Um, So I want to talk about the relationship stuff because I know that's your thing. Like your bread and butter is the
It,
relationships.
it's an open space that people want to talk about, and I'm cool with it. And I think when it comes to relationship, we all got to talk about the different levels of it. The love side
Mhm.
of it when it comes to a partner, the shit you deal with yourself in relationship, and then you have your friendship relationship. There's so many different types of relationships you yet. It's I feel like it's the core of you. If you don't know, if you need to figure out who you are first, then everything around you makes sense when it comes to dealing with people. Like you talking to me right now, I could tell that you're an extrovert. You're someone that we can have a conversation with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if I was someone introverted, you won't see this personality. I have to take time to get to know you. And that's
Right,
one of the things that sometimes, yeah, as a podcaster, you have to understand how can I get this other person to trust me to just open up and speak.
right.
So I feel like giving people saying, you know what, this is your show, this is your platform, speak what your heart says. Coincidentally, relationships are a big thing because, people want that feeling, that love, that intimacy. Man, they want it all.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Do you? So talking about that, right? How people kind of want that. It's almost, I don't want to call it necessarily validation, but in some instances it could be validation, right? Because it
Yeah.
feels good in a way. It's some of it is. Also, some of it is like you want to feel that sense of, you want to feel what it is to love or like a lot, right? Somebody like you a lot. What is it about now where it seems like with the age of social media, everything is so like, I don't know how you view this. Does everything seem forced to you? Like I feel almost like everything moves so fast now. Like and relationships don't seem to last like they once did. Do you notice
Everything
the
is
same thing?
everything is assumption now in relationships. Everything is, oh shit, I saw this post 2 weeks ago about relationships. That reminds me of me. So guess what? It's probably gonna happen to me. Oh, if he don't wife you up in the first 3 months, he's cheating on me. Guess what? I'm gonna click a like and I'm gonna go for the guy. There's so much shit on social media that it misinterprets what we do as people. You know what it is? Here's a perfect example of it. Relationships, period. Think about when you're young. Think about when you're a teenager.
Right.
When was your My first relationship was when I was 14. All right. So my first girlfriend. Think of
My
anything you do.
15.
So think of it this way. That was your choice, correct? That was your first time to actually date somebody, right?
Yeah, I
And
was
you and
scared.
so exactly. So you learn on your own. But as human beings, we don't want to fail on our own.
Nope.
We always have someone always, as growing up, holding our hands. But now we want to be independent, so we have our own girlfriend. We want to make it work. We don't want the outside world to look at us like, oh shit, he got the wrong girlfriend. Oh, they broke up in a week. You don't want that. So that's the thing that back then it was easy and easier to like hide and learn from your mistakes. Now in social media, you people put freaking in a relationship, complicated, divorced,
Oh
married.
God. Oh
The next day, people dating each other and they're like, "Yo, I gotta update my profile. I gotta take all these pictures down of me and guys." I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, it's like your
yeah.
resume of life. I need to
Yeah.
update my resume of life. But
See,
you're
I
right.
think
It's
people,
forced.
yeah, exactly. Like I feel like, and it goes along with what you were saying. Like I feel like now we're under these pressures where we got to kind of put up this facade almost, or almost like we have to like show. It's almost like keeping up with the Joneses. Almost in a way, like right. Even if we're hurting inside, or we're all messed up, or we just say somebody got out of a relationship. You've seen them, right? Whatever. They got to front. They got to act like, oh, nothing is wrong, right? And they're gonna
Hmm.
show this, or they're gonna post these little cryptic posts and stuff. You know what I mean? Kind of throwing shade at because they know that they're waiting for the other person to see it. It's like
It's
mind
like your
games.
hidden, yeah. It's like hidden treasure. But I'm gonna let the whole world see. But this message, I'm gonna like this post. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put this post for that person to see. Why?
yeah,
Why? If you're gonna
yeah.
break up with somebody, move the fuck on.
That's it. They don't need to worry about if they saw it or not. Why are you
I think
worried
it goes
about if
back
they?
to
You still
validation.
care. Validation
I think it goes back to
that
that too.
exists. And I make the argument as well. And let me know if you agree with me on this too, or what your thoughts are. Like I've felt for a long time already, and mind you, we need to have social media, right? It's obvious. Like I'm not saying it. Look, it's good. It's good for business. It's good. We need it for everything. I'm not disputing how valid it is and how valuable it is. What I am disputing, the problem I have is that we've become as a society so obsessed for likes, for clicks, for retweets, reposts, read this, read that, reaction validation to the point that we can use it to, it can be to our detriment, where if we let it, it could really eat at us if we're not getting the reaction and what we want, the response we want. What is your thought on that?
You hit around the money, man. People, it's a validation. It's something they want. It's something as a person that walks through the door and says, "I'm gonna create my social media. If I get that 2 likes, 3 likes, 20 likes, someone out there that means to like my stuff." And little by little, this gets to people's heads sometimes. Oh, you know what? Let me start showing off more. Let people just see my personality more. Oh, let me just post this morning coffee. Let me just post my day walking by. I'm sad. I'm gonna post a picture of sad. The way I thought social media was back then. So, for example, Instagram. When Instagram first came out back in the days, it was supposed to be just a picture, like a picture. Just post a picture, and then all of a sudden it became a selfie game.
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay, now I thought in my eyes, social media was let me share to the media world what I view. But if you think about it, let's go back to MySpace, man. Let's go back to
Yeah, let's go take it
MySpace.
back. Oh
Let's
man,
take it back where it first started, where all this shit first started, with the top 8, top 5, top 10.
with
And
Tom.
that's what and that's where the drama started. Think about it. Think about if you weren't on top 5 for somebody else. That caused
Yo,
problems.
man,
Oh,
you
why is
took
that
it
person
back.
number one? Yeah, but think of that compared to what you just said right now about likes. Same concept. The
Mm-hmm.
difference is
Mm-hmm.
if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, why aren't they liking my pictures? Why aren't they commenting my pictures? Are they too into me and they're commenting all my pictures on purpose because they don't want another female to comment and stuff? That just brings so much attention and headache to stuff, and it makes no damn sense.
That
And
was
this is
so
why
real. That was so real.
it's
What you just said was so real. Go ahead.
it's real, but it's real now. And you know what? I'll give it to this level of it. I have friends that, and my page is public. So that brings an anxiety because back then, think of this way. Think of people right now that have private pages and public pages. I have a public page. That means I don't give a fuck. The whole world could see my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the people that are very private, that just want selected people on their page to like their stuff and to only promote what they currently have, which could be family, but it could also be some messages to their ex. And think of this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say when they break up and they're not part of that circle anymore. They're not part of it. They get kicked out. Now
Yup.
the page is private. They can't see shit. That brings a whole nother game of jealousy of problems for people.
Man, it's a whole world, man. It's like you opening up Pandora's box.
It's a
Like,
drama that necessarily you shouldn't bother having. Like if you're telling me, and it's true. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's face it. I could click on my Instagram right now. 5 things you'll see on my Instagram. You're always gonna see sports, music, half naked girls, and people that I know stuff. And that's a common thing that everyone's gonna see.
yeah.
And that's why I have a lot of my friends, male friends, that tell me I don't want social media because of that.
Well,
I'm cool
it's
with everything because of that. Until my girlfriend sees me that there's a bikini model on my stuff, it's over. She'll tell me to
well,
delete this stuff.
bro. Here's the thing, and you just, and it's funny. This is taking another turn, but I like it. I know exactly what you're saying, and this is another thing too. Is like on that instance, you can't win because like they are throwing it at you. Like, and what I mean by that, I don't mean necessarily people who are real people who you know. I'm talking about like, it's almost like a hustle. Like you got, and I don't want to just blame women because men do it too, but
No, man, of course.
they're showing their bodies and stuff like that. But obviously, women can sell better than men can as far as their image, by and large, obviously. So like with that, with almost like soft porn, if you will, on Instagram, right? And even TikTok. And it's like it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. So it's like sports is
The,
another thing you can't avoid, but
of
the other
course
thing you
not.
can't avoid. So
But it's
what
five
do you think
seconds.
about that?
It's 5 seconds the way I look at it. You could go through people's pages right now over and over. The first 3 to 5 seconds will determine everything. If you see me and you run out chit chatting, people want to listen to the first 5 seconds that we speak about. It's
Yeah.
like promotion. We want to promote our podcast. We want to put up something hot and spicy for that first 5, 10 seconds so people can click on
Right,
listen.
right. Oh, I'll
But
find a spicy clip to put up.
but let's say other people that don't do this. Let's say they don't do this. They're gonna have to, pretty pictures. People want to look out the best outside. People want to go and post whatever picture that makes them look beautiful or let
Right.
people know, wow, this is my wow picture. that brings a misinterpretation to everything we do. You know, I think about your page. I think multiple stuff. I see music. I see clothing line. I see quotes. That's
Yeah.
great. I have a female friend of mine that she loves to model, so all she does is post pictures of her model. And I tell her I love it because you're modeling. And now she's like, oh, I posted something totally different. What you posted? Some quote about being a better person. I'm like, what happened to that quote? What happened to that post? He's like, I barely got like 2,000 likes. And how about the picture after that? Oh, after that, I put a picture of myself in the beach in a swimsuit. I got about 30,000 likes.
That's
So I'm
how it
like,
is.
so I said, so you know your audience. She's like, unfortunately, yes. My audience is people that want to see me in my body. I'm like, so then fuck it. Why don't you just mix it up? Why don't you mix it up? Why don't you be in the beach and say some quotes and see what happens? But she said she's too scared about that because she may lose followers. And I'm like, wow, you really care about losing followers? But she's like, because I make money out of this. So that's another whole world.
Wow.
And it is I'm saying that social media in general, it can be toxic, but it's us as people to learn to control our cravings. Because bro, we could go ourselves to deep into social media.
Forget
We
it.
could you could go deep as possible. End of the day, social media is always gonna win.
Yeah.
So it's always about how much you can control yourself. How can you control yourself before you become addicted to this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before you fall into that circle.
No, 100%. And I've often said this to other people, offline. And one of the things I've said is that I'm on record by saying I like what social media can do, and I understand that I need to use it, and I use it. It's not something I particularly love using. It's not because it sucks you in, it sucks your energy. And there's times where I don't feel like posting anything.
Oh,
There's times where I don't, right, and you have to, but I'm stuck, right. There's times where I'm like, I don't want to even look at anything. I just want to disappear somewhere for like a week.
I did that. I did it for 2 months. I literally did that. So I'll check it out. End of this year, I lost my other page, my personal page, a page I had for almost 9 years. I got reported for stupid shit. Up to this day, I still don't know what I got reported for. Matter of fact,
From
but
from by who?
from Instagram
Oh,
said, "Yo, you did multiple violations and you lost
don't
your
even
account." I'm
get
like,
me start. Don't even get me started.
and I'm like,
I could
and I'm
tell you
like, yo,
offline. I could tell you offline the BS that they put me through just to put. Forget it. Go ahead.
but I
I'm gonna
learned
have an aneurysm.
9 years, 9 years of I think it was 9 to 8 years. I had that page, and I had pictures of my kids growing up. It was
Right.
like a lot of sensitive pictures I thought I didn't appreciate. I lost that page. I'm like, screw this. I don't want to open a new page up. I'm gonna just work. I'm gonna focus on my podcast. I said, I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna work my ass off, build this up, and guess what? I did. Then end of the June came. I'm like, you know what? I did about 20 episodes. I'm happy. I need a break. I need to, regain myself. And I'm saying I'm tired of posting stuff because I feel like I should post stuff. Because you know what? Think about it. As even doing podcasts, you may have one listener, 30 listeners. You want to keep that, thing climbing.
Momentum.
But sometimes you get drained. You be like, you know what? Oh, I'm tired. I took the whole summer off. I
Wow.
said,
But
let
I
me
remember
go
you told
back
me.
and relax. Let me go and relax a little bit, enjoy, the summer, everything opening up again. And let me just re-listen to my stuff and see what I could make things better. And that's what I did. And I'm like, okay. 2 months later, it was hard. Not gonna lie to you, to get back on it. It was
Yeah,
hard because
it is
it's
because you took so much time off.
it's like when you're like, okay, I'm not gonna eat, I'm not gonna drink, I'm gonna start something, and then 6 months later, oh, here we go again.
That's why I'm afraid. I tell you what. That's why, like I've had people ask me, well, why do you record every week or every other week? I'm like, I'm afraid if I don't, I'm gonna stop. So I just
Hmm.
keep going. I just keep. That's no, that's not a slight on anybody who takes a break. I think
No,
if you can take a break, go ahead. It's just that I'm wired that way. That I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta keep going because if I stop hitting them, I'm gonna, even
I
with
did that with
social
all
media,
my
I'm the same
social
way.
media. Yeah, all my social media accounts. I literally stopped this summer. I literally just chilled. I literally just hanged out, went and had fun with my family. And that's it. And now even on TikTok, I'm like, yo, I stopped posting once a day, twice a day. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna post every 3 days. I'm good. Then now I'm like saying, I feel better. I see things clearly. that self-care is important. People need to realize there is such thing called as social media self-care, and we need to look into that. And guess what happened a couple of days ago? The internet, some social media were gone for a couple of hours. I didn't care. To be honest with
Everything
you,
owned by Facebook. What were
yo,
you
I
doing?
didn't.
Right.
Watching TV. I was on the computer listening to music. I was just doing basic stuff, like things not before social media. But I had had some friends of mine that are like, yo, I'm trying to, I'm on vacation right now. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Ooh.
He's like, yo, I want to send you a picture, but I can't because WhatsApp's down and my social media's down. I'm like, all right, just send it to me through a regular text message. He's like, nah. I'll just wait till it goes back on. I'm like, bro,
Wow. His
man.
life stopped.
He's like, I asked him why. He's like, nah, because I did some crazy ass dance on TikTok too. I want to post this shit.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
my man, like, TikTok was still up. So he's like, yo, that shit is up. But he has everything connected. He's one of those that whatever he puts on one app, he puts on
Right,
all of
right.
it.
Yep.
So I'm like, so he won't touch this app unless they all connected. So I'm like, bro, like, who gives a fuck?
Right. You
Like,
could put it. You could post it up later once Instagram is back
yeah,
up.
I swear it wasn't a big deal to me. The whole thing of losing, you know, I don't know in 2005. You remember
Me neither.
2005?
Me neither. I didn't even, dude. I was working. I wasn't even. I was like, whatever, whoop de doo, and I was
Yeah.
whatever, la la la. I was lost. I didn't know until later.
I tell people this. Remember in 2005 when there was a blackout, New
Yes.
York City blackout?
Yep.
What
I
you
remember.
did for those? What you did for those 2 days?
Bro, I'll tell you the truth, 100%. So at that time, okay, man, you taking it back, brother. I first of all, that was fun. Okay. Second of all, at that time, I used to make music. A lot of people don't know this about me. I used to rap.
No
Like I
word?
was a rapper, like I was like lyrical, spiritual, miracle rapper. Like I was a lyrical rapper. I was like a battle dude. Like I take your heart out your chest and feed it to your dog. Like I was a beast, right? Not to toot my own horn, but I was a beast. So, but I stopped. I'm not. I was different. I'm a different guy now. I'm a good boy now. So, but anyway, I went to the studio. I was going to the studio and legit I was about to get in the booth and everything went out. I was supposed to record a song that day. That was what happened. That was it. I didn't then from there I went to sweat my ass off. I was hanging out with some friends. We were just doing whatever, nothing crazy. We were just hanging around doing whatever. People were looting.
You just chilled pretty much. Yeah, you
Chilled,
just
yeah.
chill like no, like nothing, right? And
Nobody
until this,
cared. We didn't care.
exactly. And I feel like when you grow up in a certain era, you're built different.
Oh, we
So
built different. We
you
had
could
that. We
take
came
social
up.
media away. You could do all that shit from us. It doesn't matter, man.
Bro, give me where's the food? If there was look,
Pretty
if there's
much.
as soon as I swear to you, I think the next thing we did after we saw there was no studio, okay, power's out. All right, where's the food? Where's the water? I'm hot. It's hot as hell out here. Let's go get some water, get some food. Then we went to get
Look,
White Castle. Then we got White Castle.
people on my block, they're playing dominoes downstairs. They brought the
Yeah.
stereo. They brought the stereo down. The stereo, bring some CDs, some old school Hot
Where did you
97
grow? Where did you
mixes.
grow up?
I
I
grew
need
up
to
in
know where you
Brooklyn,
grew up.
Brooklyn,
How did I
Williamsburg.
know?
So I grew up in that area. So
Bushwick.
that's why. So
We
yeah, that
neighbors.
time my girlfriend was at the time Knickerbocker, so I actually walked over there during that time, and I'm like, it was cool. It was like you saw the people in the streets just hanging out, doing. But you see, the thing is, I think about now, even
We might
social
have
media
crossed
now.
paths, bro.
Probably,
I
I
was
mean,
there. I was in the hood, man. I was in Knickerbocker. I was there that day. The studio was literally a few blocks away from there.
the way I look at it, man, we're all put in scenarios in life that if we have to think that, oh man, social media is down. Oh no, what's next? Oh well, move on.
Right.
I think honestly it's good. If there's a way to shut down social media for
Yeah, I
once
agree.
every month and just take a self care day, why not?
I agree. We
Think
gotta do that.
think of the basics. That's why I'm releasing episodes every 2 weeks. I'm filming as many episodes as I can when I can, but every 2 weeks I'm gonna do that. Why?
Yeah.
Because I want to have time for myself. I appreciate life. I appreciate time. And when I wake up in the morning, I used to growing up. The first thing we used to do when we were young was turn the TV on. I mean, I used to put BET back in the days or
Same.
MTV back in the days, or listen to music. Put my CD, bang, that was my morning stuff. Reggae Gold back in the days. I don't know if you used to
Yeah.
collect those.
Oh man, those were great.
So
Those were
wake
great.
up in the morning, put my CD player on, blast my shit. And then as we got older, the iPods, the iTouch, MP3 players came into play. So now what I do with all this going on, I wake up every morning and I listen to people's podcasts. I listen to
Wow.
people talking because it's fun. It's cool because the way I look at it, it's intriguing. Last week you had someone with mental health, and I am like, yo, let me listen to that on my way to work. Because the way I look at it is, I could listen to the music if I want, but I ain't gonna shift from that music because I play that shit so many times.
I appreciate that. First of all, I gotta tell you, I appreciate that.
I mean, that's
Um,
the point. That's the point. You're an informative person. Where you're giving in feedback to people. So if you have 10 followers, 100 followers, even if it's a 15-minute clip or 10-minute clip, you're gonna get something out of it. So the
yeah.
way I look at it, I rather listen to your stuff or like say Mama's Network stuff or other people I follow their stuff because I'm gonna learn something.
Right. Right.
You know, compared to just listening to my old jams that I could just listen to later on.
Yeah, it's interesting, and that's one of the things that I look at, and again, I do appreciate what you do on TikTok because it is different from what you see on there. So I do give you that, I acknowledge that. But at the same time, one of my biggest problems I have with TikTok is not all, but a lot of it is kind of like the content is sapping the cells from my brain. So I feel like I have to dumb my content down to, but obviously that's not the case because you're not doing that. So
No,
I
I
do,
mean,
that's why
yeah,
I
yeah.
like what you're doing. So I
I
may
have
have to
fun with
find a
it.
happy medium. I have to find a happy
Well,
medium.
put it this way: I met a bunch of wonderful people on TikTok. Matter of fact, half of my last 10 episodes, more than out of the 21 episodes I have right now, half of them came from people from TikTok. People that I'm friends with, that I follow their stories, their niche. Everyone has this type of, stuff, either romance, motivational, toxic relationships. And I talk to them and I learn from them. If I go on your clip, if I go to your page and I see something that be like, wow, thank you, because I actually forgot about that feeling. Oh, yo, how to lose weight, stop eating this junk, or yo, you got this, or any type of motivation, any type of something that can make my life better. If it takes a TikTok person to pretty much show me that, then I'm gonna connect with you because
Right.
if it helps me, why not share it to the world? And you know what? It's interesting because what I'm trying to do now for the fall is I want to actually start collaborating with anybody who wants to try being a podcaster. So having them as a
Wow.
co-host.
That's
So
interesting.
you're gonna see the post real soon. This is pretty much is gonna be an open door policy saying, hey, you ever try to be the podcaster? You don't want, you don't have equipment. You want to just give it a shot? Join me. Let's be a co-host. Let's just see how it is.
Wow.
Why
Wow.
not? You have your own platform. You run it. You're the boss.
That's different.
Do you do what the fuck you want to do.
I respect that. I really do. I respect that. I think that's super, super like that you're really thinking outside the box, which, um, I really give it to you there. Cause I don't even know if I'd have the patience or to do that. To be honest with you, I love people and I love, but I not like you. That's what I'm telling you. You got that social worker thing going, bro. You have that demeanor, you know.
There's people out there that they go through. We all go through shit. Let's
Yeah.
just say it like
Yeah.
this. We all go through shit, whether we like it or not. Live it, love it, fuck it. We all at one phase of those three things. Either you're living the living side of it, your phase, you're in the love side of phase, which is called cloud nine, or
Cloud nine.
you're in the fuck it phase of life where you're not holding back no more. You're gonna start a new path. Nothing's gonna hold you back, and that's what I keep on telling people. I'm at that point where I'm like the fuck it phase of life. Why not? Why not? Just why not? I have people at work that follow me. I have I have big shots from my job that follows me. And I'd be like, yo, you can follow me all you want, but I'm not gonna hold back the person I am.
Right.
So heads up. But it's just that intriguingness of challenging yourself. Think of it this way. Oh, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first did TikTok, I was nervous that people were gonna make fun of me. And I was nervous that people were just gonna troll me and do stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's
when
always trolls.
so when I started doing it, I'm like, it's pretty cool. It's alright. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're right though. There's a lot of other shit that people just follow, do the same bullshit, and it's like,
It's
okay, skip
90%.
it. So that's what I thought in my head, and I'm like, you know what? Block this, block this, block this, and then little by little, I'm learning. Yo, it's an algorithm. Toxic relationships, motivational speakers. All right, cool. I could fuck with that. how to start podcasting, how to get the best audio, which is the best mic, and I'm
Interesting.
like, oh shit, it became a learning curve. Like, for example, the Yeti mic, that's the mic I recently got. And because I had three different mics before that and they didn't work as well. But all I had to do was click top five mics
Microphones.
for, microphones. And boom, okay, affordable, got you. Best program to start a podcast, boom, got you. I'm like, yo, is that simple? Instead of me looking at the negativity of everything that an app has, I try to use it at its best ability.
It's funny. It's funny you say that about podcasting too, because like I looked at it like that too. Like a lot of it was trepidation from me just putting self-doubt in myself. Like I didn't need to put it, but I put it in there. Oh yeah, but I don't have time. Oh, I don't have the mic. Oh, I don't right. Oh, if I look like an idiot or whatever. Oh, whatever.
I have at
I don't know
least.
how to edit, right? And
Oh
I
yeah,
learned.
what?
Dude, I'm self-taught in everything.
Me
I'm
too.
still
I,
learning.
I
I'm still
I do
learning.
everything. I do everything on my own. I have no team. I wish I had a team, but I don't. But let me tell you that I have about maybe a good 18 hours extra of episodes that I did before the pandemic first starting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, but the quality's not that good. And I'm like, you know what? That's a learning curve. That's how
Right.
you learn. That's how you learn. And that's what I feel like I always tell people, just do it. Whether you like it or not, do whatever the hell you want to do. You want to be a
Yeah.
model? Fucking do it.
Do it.
But before you become a model, ask yourself, are you an introvert, extrovert? That's what I tell people all the time. I always tell people, figure who yourself out first. Figure what do you do? What do you like? And stick with it. And you're gonna find other people that like you for that. I love freestyle music. So, old school freestyle music, why? Because that's something my father grew up with. And at the time when I was a young kid, I thought they were talking to me. When I had my first breakup, I thought those motherfuckers were talking to me. Because
Yeah.
when I used to listen to Eminem back in the days of Jay Z back in the day, I used to get angry. I used to be on like, you know what, fuck this, fuck that. And then I'm listening to old school freestyle music I'm like, wow, I feel like that motherfucker's talking to me.
It makes you
I
happy. It's happy. It's
it
happy
makes
music. It really
it's
is.
just a beat. It's a beat that
Hmm.
I love. And as I grew up, it was like my comfort zone growing up. Like whenever I was pissed off or young, going through young phases, my dad just blast that shit on the radio on a CD player, and I'd be like, all right, cool. So I grew up in that music, but I didn't really pay mind to the lyrics until I became a teenager. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. Like then when you have your first heartache, your first breakup, you're like, holy shit.
You'll find a song. You'll
You'd
find
be
one.
like, you be on that like, yo, pass that Henny, pass that Coke 45. What's up?
That's
Pass that
funny.
OE. But that's
Oh,
the way,
E.
yeah, the little dudes from the hood, those
Yeah, yeah.
viejitos, be
That's
like,
how it
yo.
was. Yeah, more liquor.
But all this, man, you see how we talk about all this? This is why it's important for us to say 10 years, 15 years from now, I don't know if I still have this good memory. And I don't know if there's someone right now in the same hood that we're chilling with feeling the same way we do. So that's
Right.
why sometimes it's important to be able to share stuff. Uh, when our time is up, you and me, when it's our time to leave this fucking world, there's nothing left behind. I
That's
hope I
right.
could leave YouTube behind. I hope I could leave this podcast behind for my kids or for any young person who may feel the same way. But that's my whole thing. I want to leave something behind. So
That's
10 years from
amazing.
now, that's the whole purpose of me being who I am and being able to support other people. Because, hey, 5 years from now, who knows? You could be blowing up. You can make this shit big. Who knows? But guess what? At least I know I met you when you first started. And now I know you could guide someone else through the same process. You could be someone else's motivator. Anyone listening here could be someone else's motivator.
Yeah. No, not 100%. And I think it's important to always pay it forward too. Like the same way that I tell you, I thank you for really kind of planting those seeds in there a little bit for me, helping me out, even though you didn't realize it. But there could be somebody else listening or watching that I could be doing that for. So just that, you know what I mean? Just paying it forward and just being like, hey, listen, if you could do it too, and you are you, because everybody can create something, because we're all so unique, right? There's a brand for you. Like you are your brand. LJ is the brand. Santos is his brand. This is my brand. This is your brand. There's enough for all of us. We just got to go out and get it.
Definitely. Look, what it is now. I'm on your show right now, and I can literally say in your show right now, if anyone's listening to this and wants to just try being a podcast host, hit me up. Let's do it together. Why not? It doesn't
And
matter
we're
if you mess up. You know, just at least you fucking did it. And at least
and
someone
we're
gave you a shot to do it. You know.
No, 100%. And we're gonna plug all your stuff here too, by the way. So just so you know, we're gonna plug the podcast, all that stuff, all your social media, because that's what we do. We like to celebrate the
I am
people.
trying. I am trying my best to keep myself organized like you, because you keep it fire, man. I don't know how you do it
No, I
every
appreciate. Listen,
single
it's
day.
hard. It's hard, bro. It's hard, Papa. It's hard. I'm telling you. Listen, it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy. But we're still a work in progress. We're blessed. We blessed, and a lot of this couldn't be possible without you. I've told you this already. So I appreciate you, really.
Well, I
Um,
appreciate you. I mean, look at the guests you have. I enjoy it, man. You have some celebrities, and I'm like, I look forward for your next episode. Like, yo, look who he has. That's what's up.
no, because you know what it is that and look, there's been a lot of swings and misses. I've reached, because I don't have any. Look, I look at it like this, right? I got no shame. I got no fear. I got nothing to lose. What's the worst that can happen? They will ignore me. They will say
Pretty
no.
much.
I don't want to, in the interest of business and not being, I don't want to put their names out there. I reached out to some big boys. And did I expect to get all of them? No. But I took a swing because you never know who's watching. You don't know who's listening. And I said,
Exactly.
screw it. So I've had a couple people who have said, hey, I'll do your show. I could tell you that offline, but I've had people who said, look, I'll do it. And they just didn't come through. But you know what? I got love for them the same. It's okay. Cause you never know. They may come back around. So, I'm introducing a new segment. Since I'm going to introduce a new segment. This segment is going to be called What Santos Said. So this is how it works. The way it works is what Santos said. The way it works is I will be showing. Can you see? Okay. So
Yeah, I
I
can
will
see.
be showing a video clip from a previous episode. And all right. And I'm gonna react to a previous clip, and then I'm gonna ask for your take after. Okay. This is about relationships, and on this clip, I'm talking about how relationships are like boxing. Take a look at this. Listen to this. A worthy opponent is someone who is worth fighting for. I repeat, a worthy opponent is a woman who is worth fighting for. In boxing, it would be a worthy opponent. This is someone you're stepping up in competition. You want to fight them. This opponent has a world championship. Let's just go with this, right? This woman is the world boxing champion. She is the elite of the elite of the elite. She's got titles. Let's say she's got titles in 2 divisions. She's got the WBC, the WBA, right? World title. She's got no losses. She's never lost. She's gorgeous. She gets any man she wants. But the difference is she's not easy to knock out. Meaning you're not gonna get to have your way with her. You're not gonna get in the bed with her in 2 seconds. She saves herself. She's a hard nut to crack. So on this clip, I'm talking about what I was saying. What was I saying? So on this video clip, what I was saying, I don't know what's going on with the view here, but what was crap. I leave it. All right. You gotta work with me here. Okay, no.
No, we good. We good.
All right. So the way that this works, I don't want to put it like that. I think it's hold on. No. What's going on here?
There you go.
All right. So here's the thing. The way I look at it is I was comparing boxing. I was comparing relationships to boxing, knocking her out. That was not knocking her out, was capturing her. That was not knocking her
Knocking
out,
her out.
right? Right. And some people, they loved it. They loved that comparison. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you like that was what I was saying. I was like, look, just knocking her out. What do you think about that?
The first thing that came to my mind was when you said it was not going to be easy. She's tough. I'm thinking about a woman who has her guard up, probably with all the shit she went through, but got her life back together, and now she's not gonna let not just any ordinary guy come into her life, which I feel like we see all the time. So, for example, Jane Doe got into a relationship, didn't work out. Let's say she became a single mom, dropped out of high school, all that stuff. Now that she's single, she went from being a single mom, raising her kid on her own, to let's say college degree, her own job, her own crib, her own car, and now a regular dude out there wants to jump on that and say, I want you. But she's like, I'm not that easy. And probably tells him, yo, I don't give it up until 6 months. And then, some guys be like, really? How do you? And I feel like the bar is set higher. And I see
Right.
that all the time with that. And I think that's great because the way I look at it is you want that. You want the best version of that woman. But ask yourself the same question. Do you feel like you fit that category? Oh, and I think that's the way I look at it. I feel like there's a minimum requirement that person has to get the title. So for in boxing analogy, the
Right.
weight
Right.
class, the records, how many wins and losses.
Competition, level
So
competition.
that's the way I look at it. So the way we gonna look at it is she could probably lost that one time that really screwed her up. So let's say she's like 10-1, and a dude that's like 3-10 wants to holler at her and wants a shot with her. She's not gonna pay no mind to that. But
Right.
a guy with a level, let's say 10-2 or 10-3, that has almost the same criteria, was a champion before maybe, been to the same level, and now when going back down, you could talk about that. That's
Right.
why sometimes in relationships, the way you look at it, I think about how, and I actually did an episode on that. Single people with kids, are you a mother with somebody with kids? Are you gonna date someone with no kids or with kids? Because of the different level of skill sets you have there. And most of the
Right.
time, they tell me I prefer dealing with someone with kids because they know that kind of level, that skill set of being a parent.
Right.
It's not the
Right.
same. So I look at that as boxing, like, this dude's a newbie, doesn't know how it is to raise two kids. This woman already has two kids, all grown. So
Right.
that's the way I interpreted that video.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and look, that's a new segment I just introduced. Now you're the
I like
first
it.
guest.
I
I
like it.
appreciate that. I
You know
appreciate that.
what? You should put in your post. You should put that in your post and tell people to send you like some messages, and you post the best one on your Instagram. Why not?
Hey, man, I'm telling you, this guy right here, this guy is sharp, man. This guy's sharp. You're good. You're good. So I guess I want to kind of, I guess I don't want to wrap it up yet. I know you. I don't want to wrap it up yet, but I just want to touch on some relationship stuff with you because you're
Go
you're
ahead.
kind of like you're
Shoot.
good. You're good.
Throw me scenarios, man. Throw me anything you want.
All right, all right, all right. So when it comes to, I got because I gotta write this stuff down, bro. I'm looking at right now or something. Okay, what is the biggest when it comes to a woman? Like what do you look at? And again, you don't have to necessarily go into specifics, but with as much as you can, right? What is like the biggest turnoff when you were, let's say, if you, I'm not gonna ask your personal status, but if you were when you were in the game, if you were in the game, you're looking for a woman. What were like the biggest turnoffs as far as character traits? Like you're like, oh, I'm about to go on a date, you go on a date, and oh, what the hell's wrong with her? I don't like this, or I don't like
I
what would
think
you
it
think?
was an entitlement. The
Entitlement.
entitlement part of it. The part of if you're not rocking these type of sneakers, you ain't driving that type of car, you ain't that type of person for me. And then when you ask them,
Mm,
like, I'm sorry, what is it that you're offering again? This all right here, this full body figure. And then you'll be like, what does it do? What skill sets do you have? And like what is it what trick do you have that could possibly make you different from somebody told different? And then they look at me like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And as I got older, even after I settled down and I'm really like seeing other people, just how to communicate with other people, the same concept still works that way. Well, I'm
yeah,
entitled, well, unless you're taking me to Cancun or to this resort, I'm not going to no 3-star or under. Like, okay, That's what's up. I have, and that's the way I think of it. That's the biggest turnoff. Or when they treat you with less value. And this is something
Yeah.
that we haven't touched on my podcast, even though I have some recording. That friend zone, belittling, there's a difference in being in a friend zone and being belittled. So I think that's one of the biggest turnoff when you know you have someone good in front of you, but you abuse that power and don't give that person the right respect. So I think power in general is a big turnoff. If you have power and if you're not using it correctly as a human being, you could really hurt someone and damage someone. So when it comes to entitlement and power, I really think that's the biggest turnoff. You think just because you have this asset and I don't have it, that makes you more than me? That's the
That's a
thing as human beings that really should turn anyone off. That should be a red light, goodbye.
red flag.
Unless you're
Yeah.
trying to just have a one night stand or some shit, then
That's
bye.
different. Yeah, that's different. That's different
But
because there's you don't have to tolerate much. I mean, what I'm saying is you just tolerate what you will, and that's it. It's not a commitment. So
yeah,
that's crazy. And it's interesting you say that because I'll share mine as well because I think it's a good dialogue. So I think for me, the biggest character trait that I always would see whenever I was, whatever, with a woman would be like self-absorbed. A woman who's self-absorbed to me is like the biggest turnoff because the way I look at it is if she's so into herself, she can never possibly be into you. And I mean like truly into you. I mean like if she cares so much about, I'm not saying she can't care about herself, self-care, makeup, hygiene is very important. All that stuff is important. Dress well, smell good, all that. But it almost goes with what you're saying a little bit. But it's more along the line of being so self-absorbed that you could just see it. That they're just everything is about what you can do for them. It's never about what they're gonna do for you. Not that
and
you're
that goes
asking, but
that goes back to the roots of where they come from,
yeah,
like when they grew up. The way I've seen so many people to tell me that they're old school mentality. And if here's a perfect example, I have a female friend of mine that believes that you know, you should be a good housewife. I'm like, so you prefer being a housewife? Yeah, I'm gonna be a housewife. I'm gonna be cooking, cleaning, screwing my man, doing everything that has to do, but he paying all the damn bills. I'm like, but don't you want to work either and provide? Maybe you never
right,
know. You could probably
right.
hit it hard. She's like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather raise the kids, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's just the style. And if you look back into their family lifestyle, their mothers and grandmas are the same way too, and their aunts. And I met other females that be like, hell no, we're gonna go 50-50 everything. Screw that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they come from the same family trait, like someone who used to be a housewife. So it's like, the way I look at what you just said was, it's like an onion. You gotta peel it off little by little.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a show. We always want to dress to impress our first time,
All the time. Yeah.
and I think that's a show. Sometimes I think after a few weeks, or you put people in scenarios, you
Yeah.
really get to know this person is like,
Yep.
yo, I'm not gonna see you unless I had my makeup and my nails done and I'm like, whoa. I knew
Before you know it.
yeah, I knew a friend of mine that he had to get a brand new pair of sneakers every 2 weeks
Oh, come on.
because
Really?
his girlfriend at the time was a sneakerhead, and she
Mm.
wanted to make sure that he matched up to her level of sneakers.
That was already grounds to go like this to cut.
And no,
You're
he
like,
did it.
how old are you? You're a sneakerhead. I mean, I
He
don't mind. I
he
like sneakers, bro. Go ahead.
look. It's like, and I told him like, how much money you spending?
Yeah,
At least every month, at least a good $600.
that's too
I'm
much.
like, why? He's like, nah, because she wants me to look fresh. For what? Just because she tells you so? He's like, yeah. I'm like, bro, that's $600. You can do it whatever the hell you want for yourself. Like, and she's like, do you wear them? She's like, I just wear them like 6-7 times and I put them away because I want to buy fresh kicks every month. I'm like, well, you
Mm-mm.
live on your own. You have a kid. You pay child support. You do everything you do on your own. She still lives with mom and dad.
That's
So
why she can do it. Yeah, that's why she's able. She's
she,
got all this income. She doesn't have to pay anything. She can
yeah.
buy all the
So
sneakers she wants. She probably doesn't wear a men's size shoe, I would imagine either.
hell
So
no, no. She the ones that have that
the
three
baby foot.
size. Oh my god, yeah. I could say I hate on
Yeah.
that. I'm jealous of
I see cualquiera. Anybody, yo, bro, anybody, right? Am I? Yeah,
no, you're
Jordans will
right.
cost like $70, like $60, whatever in that size, whatever,
You're blessed if
$80.
you have under 5 feet, a size 5 and under as a female. You're blessed.
Yeah,
You
come
can rock them.
on. So I'm saying, and look, I like sneakers. I occasionally I still have to get a pair once in a while. Like but I'm not but I wear mine. You know what I mean? That's different. Like, and there's times and places for them too, because I like to switch it up. Like I don't want to just always wear sneakers. Like I'll throw on loafers, I'll throw on boots. I like to switch it up. Usually when I'm doing my podcast, I'm wearing my merch because I have to sell my merch. So, but I don't always wear a hat. I wear a hat most of the time when I'm on an episode, except for right now. But right,
And I
but
mean, I keep it like the New York City rule: uptowns and some
yeah,
Tims. It's a
yeah,
requirement. So every
yeah.
year, get a pair of uptowns. Matter of fact, but I haven't bought a pair of Tims in a while because I still have two brand new pairs for like
Me
almost 2 years
really,
chilling, just
you have
chilling there.
warm
I mean,
constructs.
we I have high tops and low top ones. That's how
Okay,
much I just
okay,
I like before I had kids. Yeah, of course, collect sneakers, Jordans, you know, Air Maxes. That was the shit, But once
yeah.
I became a
It
father,
changes.
I sold. It hurt me, but I had to get rid of some of them, sell them. But
What?
now, now that he's getting older too, my son, I'm like, you know what? Let me get him into the basic fashion, uptowns, the
Right.
Tims, and then little by little, but not trying to exaggerate because I think the sneaker game now it's
Oh,
bad, man. It's
it's sick.
expensive, and I don't understand it as much. But this whole reselling, buyer's market type of
Garbage.
stuff,
Garbage.
it's hurting people because like I'm like, oh shoot, Air Max 95s, buck 50, buck 60. Now I'm seeing them for like 300, 350. I'm like, damn, like what happened?
Right. Right.
You know,
You remember you used to go to Knickerbocker. You go to Knickerbocker. You go to
bro,
you go
Jimmy
to go to
Jazz. Go to
Graham.
Jimmy Jazz VIM store, just hit there, pair of Uptowns, pair of Air Maxes, pair of Tims, you good.
That's it, bro. I tell you what I used to do. Back in that time, I mean, I either go to Graham, I go to Knickerbocker. I'm going to the Cuchi Frito around the corner,
Bro, that
not too
spot,
far.
oh my god, if you're listening to this right in the corner of Knickerbocker, yo, they have the ill chicharron right there. Bro,
La Isla. Is it
yeah,
called La
man.
Isla?
Then you get yourself a fruit punch too,
Cuchi
that big ass
Frito.
over.
Ooh, they don't know
I
about that.
call
Go ahead, let them know.
I call that Spanish Kool-Aid.
That's that
That
Spanish
fruit
Kool-Aid.
punch,
Yeah,
bro.
it got mad
I mean,
sugar,
that
but it's
was
good.
that. Those days,
Chicharrones,
man.
right?
Oh man, $5, $6. There's a nice little play back in the day. 24
Big,
hours.
big juice. $6, you eating like a king. I don't know about
Yo,
now,
listen.
but
Nah, I haven't been in a few, but who knows? Before COVID, I can tell you that it was legit.
man, listen, I used to live. Listen, I was there. I was always there. I would always be on Knickerbocker Avenue. I would go buy I buy my clothes there. Everything. I
You
did
know, you
everything in
know that was a
Knickerbocker.
spot back then, Knickerbocker, and we'll talk about like late '90s and first '01, '02. Like
Yeah.
you want to go looking fresh there, going walking down Knickerbocker
Always,
Avenue,
always
because
fresh.
you want to look fresh because there's only some girl
Mm-hmm.
or some spot. It's like the mall back then when you want to go date somebody, just go to the
Yeah.
mall.
For us, it was
Go look all
Knickerbocker.
fresh.
Yo, Queen Center Mall
Knickerbocker,
too, though. I would go to Queen Center Mall sometimes.
nah, Knickerbocker, Stanway,
Oh,
and
Steinway too. Steinway.
yeah, the movie theater in Astoria, that was a spot too back people used to
Yep.
chill at.
Astoria.
So that was like
Damn.
but you see right there, growing up, if you don't rock a nice car on your way there, people won't look at you.
Right.
If your speakers ain't blowing up the block, if your Honda Civic ain't blowing up
It had to
with
be a
some
Honda
music,
Civic. It had to be. It had to be a Civic. You're
I mean,
100% right, man.
it's nostalgia, man. But that goes too. That plays into the role. Like our mentality, we have, what we see is like, yeah. When I was a teenager, a girl be like, "Yo, if you ain't got no car at 15, I don't want you." Bitch, I don't even have my permit yet. I got a bike. I
I
got
got a bike.
pegs.
Got pegs. You
I
want to
got
ride?
Yeah, but you see the mentality. That's the mentality it was. It was like, yo, how am I gonna chill with you? What car you got for me? I'm like, what car? I ain't got my permit, man.
Well, she also looking at your sneakers too.
Yeah. Oh,
She
but
look
that
at, oh, you
time,
can't have creases on your shoes. Your white uptowns had to be white.
at that time, we're talking about when the Black Tims came out with the little brush. Talking
Yes.
about that's when it first.
Oh, I
That's when
forgot
it first
about
came out.
those. I
And
used
the
to
North
walk around
Face
with the brush.
pouch. You had your North Face pouch back in the days too.
The North Face
Um.
pouch, yes, 100%.
So
The also the Gore-Tex.
oh, what? That was a New York City thing. Gore-Tex, a jeans, some Tims, a white tee.
I used
If
to
you
wear
had a do rag,
Jabots. I used to wear Jabots. I don't know about you, the Jabot pants. I used to love those pants.
nah, man. I mean, I couldn't afford those like that.
I had to work. I used my whole paycheck for that. I was working at McDonald's, bro. Like back then, when I was a teenager. That was
See,
my first
that's
job.
another thing too. My first job was in a supermarket, just just putting the bags in and just doing walking the ladies, literally walking the ladies to their homes for the bags, just for a
Yeah,
little $2, $3,
tips.
little yo, back in Williamsburg,
They used to
Karen
tip
Park.
back then. They tipped back
Oh,
then. I remember they would tip.
I don't know if you ever been there before, but in Williamsburg, there's a under the BQE in
I know exactly
McGinnis
what
Graham
by
Avenue,
Cooper
McGinnis Boulevard.
by Cooper Projects.
Yeah, under BQE, there used to be a guy selling hot dogs back in the days. Everyone used to line up there, just
Mm-hmm.
a
I be
dollar,
in there.
dollar. I'm like, Graham Avenue back in the days,
The
Graham, all that
best.
shit. Psh, that
Oh
was like I'm
man,
saying that growing up. Just thinking about it now,
you just took me
I'm
back, man.
thinking about everything we just spoke about now, relationships and all that. I'm thinking in my head, wow, from that conversation of walking with a girl down the block, talking about this is what I want in a man, and you're only a teenager, to what it is now in the game. I feel bad for the new generation.
Yeah.
Because back then it was just, rock, pick me up in a car, take me to a movies, put the window down past my old hood so my ex boyfriend could see me blasting music in a nice car. Now it's about social media posting. What have you done for me lately? What vacation trip I'm going to right now?
Everything happened so fast. I feel like back then, I feel like even with music too, right? Obviously, with hit music, hits would last the whole year. Now hits last like 2 seconds, a month, a week, and it's
Yo,
like everything moves so fast. Yo, LJ, everything moves too fast now. That's
the
just the
bootlegs,
reality.
Hot 97 mixes, the
Yes,
volumes.
yo, I had. Oh my god, yo, the
Everyone,
nostalgia, bro.
everyone used to collect them. Oh shoot, a new one
I
comes
had
out
them.
next week.
Yo, new one. Yo, I used to go to the African dude and get. There was always an African guy,
I go to
Knickerbocker.
Knickerbocker. I used to go to Knickerbocker. Oh, the new Reggae Go came out, Volume
Yeah,
Two.
go get
Let's
that.
go.
Three for
Any
10.
bootleg, there you go. Yeah, you want to watch the Titanic? There's a movie right there. Two VHSs right there for you. So,
Yo.
I mean,
Well,
life
DVD,
was
DVD.
simpler. Yeah, life was simpler, less headache. There was still drama growing up in our way. But imagine now, with the shit people are going through now.
Well, you had
Come
to
on.
be careful with. Yeah, you had to be careful like what block you were walking on. But
I posted up something on TikTok recently saying that if you were raised in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, we all done stupid shit. And the difference between now and then, back then there was nobody recording you and posting that shit online. It was stupid shit
no,
you done.
no, you didn't have to worry about none of it. Yo, if
Now,
somebody had beef, right? If somebody had beef, you could see. You literally could pull up on his block, snuff him. Nobody go away. The guy would not talk. I know because I've seen it. The guy would not talk. There was no footage. There was no camera. It didn't happen.
oh, now,
Because I
no,
used to know
now
some tough
everything.
guys. I used to know some tough guys. I used to know some tough guys that did some shit. And I ain't gonna say shit, but I'm just saying I seen it.
Growing up back then, to think about what now, if you want to compare relationships now and then, man, back then we probably had it good compared
Yeah,
to the
we had
shit
it
you have to deal with
great.
now. Compared to what you have to deal with now, which is, yo, so I follow this person online and they tell me if you don't do this and that by 3 months, it's over. Like, it's the influence. It's like what you see on TV, those movies that they tell us we're different personalities in the future and shit like that. Right now we're talking and this is us. This is pretty
Mhm.
much who we are.
Right.
But some people just want to post on social media the positive side of things. I like to post everything.
Because
If you see
people
me
post
put,
what they
yeah,
want you to see.
exactly. If there are videos I post, I don't know if you know some of the stuff I follow. I post some happy shit, there's some sad shit, and then I'll put some food up for me just chilling because that's the way things are. I'm not trying to get like yo, let me get my best angle. I don't give a shit. People sometimes be saying, yo, why don't you get a haircut frequently? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't have time.
Nah.
I work. So
That's what the hat is for. That's why I put the hat on, bro. I'm like, look, my hairline is going crazy now. Whatever. I'm already it's
nah,
whatever,
man.
you
I
know?
mean, the way I look at it is this: everyone should be themselves. Do what you got to do. Look, if you have a family, then no one else matters. If you have friends, they care who you are no matter what. All right, your friends are
That's
your
well
friends.
said.
And I have friends that I haven't seen since the pandemic, and we're
Right,
still
right.
best. And guess what? Thanks to social media, thanks to like WhatsApp, we still chit chat and talk like nothing ever happened. But I do see online people be like, "Yo, I haven't spoken to a friend in a year, so that person changed." Maybe they did, but I know who my friends are. Sometimes we grow. Sometimes we do things differently. But like I said earlier in the show, we always have to grow. We always have to. We're always got to be a better version of ourselves every year. So even after this podcast that we just did right now, I'm pretty sure I'm a better person after we're done speaking because of the knowledge we learned and what we shared.
Yo, bro, listen, I'm telling you, you're right. I'm not cutting you off yet, but I'm saying you're welcome anytime. I just want you to know that because you're
I mean,
like,
there. I mean, and then we should collaborate later on, do some other stuff.
yeah,
You know,
no, definitely anytime. You definitely because I love your perspective. You're really like you're on it. You're a guy who you're a real dude. You're a genuine dude, and man, like that took me back, man. That nostalgia. I like when you feel that, right? When you hear these stories, it kind of takes you back, right? It's almost like you could almost taste the food you ate at those times, right? You could taste the tropical fantasy soda or juice. You could taste, right? You could taste the food from the cuchi frito, like legit.
bro. The next tells back in the days. The next
Nextel,
tells,
the chirp and all that.
bro. The
Uh,
sidekicks. People had
I
sidekicks.
remember those things were so
Yo, I mean,
slow.
I think about where this all started. I'm like AOL. I keep on thinking about AIM,
AOL, yeah,
AOL.
yep,
You know
that's what started.
how when people ask me, "Yo, how do you learn how to talk to people?" Oh, 'cause I used to be on AIM all the time, trying to talk to some girl when I was a kid, just
That
trying
was
to
a
learn how to
fact. Me
talk.
too,
And then
bro.
whether I get dumped or not, it doesn't matter. Just I'm learning. That's how you learn in life. Just fucking do it.
I have a story, right? I have a real quick story about AOL, right? So I used to live on AOL. I loved AOL. I used to beg my mom, "Mommy, please don't let me." She would give me time frames to use it because remember, we from the era of dial-up. Let's be clear. Like we used to have dial-up, right? We had to wait. Like mom couldn't use the phone if I'm online. Get off, whatever. Yeah, tu jode. Get off, whatever.
The
Yeah,
the dial
yeah,
up,
no,
the dial up. Oh man, the
yeah,
DSO, that annoying sound. I don't know if you used to do this, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so my dad used to sleep at night, and I used to try to go on AOL back in the days when I was really young. I used to put like a pillow on top of that router machine that used to make like a buzzing sound, like bzzz, trying to log in on AOL. I had to cover that shit because the amount of noise that shit just to log in. Take about a good minute just to log in. I mean, the way I look at it, man, is what you're doing, what I'm doing, people listening. It's a great thing, man.
It
So
is, and
I
and
love it.
like real quick, right? So I'll tell this real quick story. So like online on AOL, I had this instance where like I feel messed up about it now, but I used to talk to older women. So like I would fake
That's
my
okay.
age, right? We used to all no, but that's not the messed up part. I used to fake my age, right? So I had this, I don't know why I did this. I had sent somebody a fake picture. I was like 16 years old. I was talking to this older woman. She was bad, bro. Bad older woman. And I went to go meet her. Like I went to go meet her, but she didn't know it was me. I never showed my face. I wasted her time. I showed her, like I showed her a picture of me, but it wasn't me. It was some other guy.
You clickbaiter,
Yes, before it was a thing.
catfished her.
I was catfished. I was 16 years old, and I felt bad about it afterwards. But I saw her. I was like, damn. I couldn't. I didn't have the courage to go up to her and tell her because I knew she was gonna say, "Oh, you're some kid. I can't mess with you. You're not the guy who should." I sent a picture of some guy that kind of looked like me, but like an older version. So I was so young. I was intimidated. I didn't. I liked her. I really did like her, but I couldn't show her that I was a 16-year-old kid. She was like 28. But you know what I
Oh
mean? I
man,
was I was reaching for the stars, bro.
why
So like
not shoot your shot, do your
to
thing.
your shot, bro. But yeah, don't show your face. So I regretted it. I did. I was mad. Like I was
You
mad at
see,
myself.
you see AIM and AOL. That was a simpler time, and actually, it was also good and scary. It
Yeah,
was more about
scary.
texting. It wasn't more about your profile picture. Remember, you had to scan a picture back in the days
Oh,
to send a
nobody's
picture.
like nobody had a picture.
Yeah,
Very few
so it was
people.
normal not to have a picture of
Yeah,
somebody.
right,
And
right.
it wasn't like, yo, give me a cell phone number. And be like, no, bitch.
If you had a picture, no, if you had a picture, you were like, eso era de riquito, like you, like your parents had, right?
Even that, oh, I want to hear your voice. Be like, yo, you gotta call me after 9 p.m. because I got minutes. I got my
Yeah,
500
yeah,
minutes a
yeah,
month.
yeah.
But you see the whole concept. The concept is as we get older now, this world that we're in, this social media, bro. Before you even talk to somebody, you can see their picture, their name, their links. Yeah, you could look up people like nothing on the internet before you even meet somebody.
Yeah.
And that's the creepy part about all this. You already have an assumption of a person that you meet them right before you meet them. You know everything about them, and that's why I try to tell people just keep it simple. If they want to know more about you, they gotta talk to you.
Right.
They just can't assume that, oh, I know what he's about. I know what he does. No, bitch. Talk to me. Don't assume,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And I think that's the thing with this generation now when it comes to relationships, why social media is such a problem. Before we're in a relationship with the new era people, there's already so much assumptions.
Right.
All right. Back then it was like, hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Let me get to know you. Matter of fact, do you have friends that I know? Now it's about, yo, let me see your followers. Let me see how many people know you from my group. Let me see if
Yeah.
any of my homegirls fucked around with you before. Like it's simple. Back then it was like, yo, I used to like this girl from the block. Be like, oh yeah, oh I'll introduce you one day. Now it's like, yo, what's her Instagram? What's her TikTok? I think I follow her. Let me see what she's writing. Does she have OnlyFans? Let me see.
Man, we could go on forever about this. That's crazy. Like that's a whole other episode. Just social media. Like we could just dive in deep. But I just wanted to tell you first of all, it was great having you on. It was
Nah, I
great.
appreciate you, man.
You no listen. You welcome anytime. We got to collaborate again. We'll do it. We'll do another one. We'll do more. Um, tell everybody where they can find you. Tell the people any last words. Go ahead.
Nah, so you can follow me on Instagram, LJ Rivera. And if you're ever curious about my podcast, just literally put live it, love it, fuck it. But instead of putting the FU on the U, put the star on Google and you'll see all my shit there. But like I said, I do appreciate anyone. And if you like what you hear, and like I said earlier, if you're listening to this right now and you're curious about podcasting, hit me up. We'll do an episode together. And if you want to talk about anything that you're very prideful for or something that you really feel you want to share to the world, hit me up. There's an open door for me. I'm not, trying to reach for the stars and reach all the celebrities. Everyone has a voice. So if you want to share, feel free to hit me up. Just say Santos send you.
Does say right. Tell them. There you go. There you go. Tell them Santos sent you. Nah, brother. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks again. Once again, LJ Rivera. Make sure you guys check out the Live It, Love It, Fuck It podcast. And make sure to look for it on iHeartRadio, right? iHeartRadio. Go ahead. Where is it?
iHeart, Spotify, iTunes, all the main platforms.
All the big ones. All the big
and
platforms.
hopefully real soon I'll be on YouTube real soon.
Look out for that YouTube coming soon as well. We'll plug all your stuff in the description, and they'll also obviously be on this video too. So, LJ, thanks a lot, man. It's a pleasure. We got to connect again.
I appreciate you, man. You have a wonderful day. Keep doing you, man. I love it.
Same here, brother. All the best. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, man. Take it out.
Good one. All right,
Take
peace,
it easy,
bro.
guys.
All right, guys. So, oh man, I want to thank my guest, LJ Rivera. Very, very insightful, good guest to have, man. He was great, man. I'm telling you, this guy knows his stuff, man. His perspective is just so refreshing, and what he does really, it's really great to see. And quite frankly, man, he's gonna go places. He already is, and so make sure you guys check out Live It, Love It, Fuck It podcast with LJ Rivera. So big thanks to him. Thanks to everyone listening. This was episode number 20. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Santos Thread Shop. Visit santos-threads.com, and away we go. And as always, don't just say what you mean or mean what you say. Say it with your chest. Peace.